Hello everyone. Today I bring a fresh topic which is soundproofing and fire protection or fireproofing. So we will talk about sound insulation as well as fireproofing material which is required in a building as a mandatory requirement. So let's start with the sound insulation and fireproofing. Yeah, introduction. As we know that sound insulation is required somehow in all the apartments and buildings, in all the rooms, but it is mandatory for like classrooms, theaters, cinema hall, convention hall, seminar hall, and recording rooms. Why? Because when we talk about the seminar halls and like theaters, cinema halls, an echo is produced because it is comparatively large area. So when we speak in a theater or when we play any sound or any music, sometimes an echo is produced which interfere the original sound. Sometimes what happen, that sound which is originate from the source is not able to reach from the to the audience. That is because sound barriers. These barriers absorb the sound energy and does not allow to reach to the audience or recipient. While in other field, so the level of desired sound insulation for different types of buildings and between the individual room or apartment of a building can be achieved by following contraction measure of noise control and sound insulation. So what I'm talking about, that suppose if I'm in a meeting room and we are taking a meeting or we are attending a meeting, the noise or sound of the hall should not go outside and the outside noise should not interfere inside the room. So it is mandatory requirement for the sound insulation for some office rooms, boardrooms, and some other things, other type of construction. The first thing in which they work as a vertical barrier, which are walls. The walls are the vertical barriers which allow the noise cancellation. Their proper design, construction, and insulation, they can work better. There may be of four type of sound insulation, like rigid and massive homogeneous wall, partition of porous materials, double wall partition, and cavity wall type construction. Now, the floors. If you talk about that noise, and we are staying in an apartment, so what happens if someone is doing something on the upper floor, like if one is moving the table, then the sound of friction to the floor is disturbing to the people who are living on the lower floor. So this is the basic problem. If someone is doing the hammering or drilling, it interfere. If someone is playing music, it interfere through the floors. Vibrations travels through the building. It definitely affect in terms of noise. So it is required that we use some floor material like glass wool, mineral wool, quilt, air felt, cork, rubber, and some other insulating material which can provide a good insulation. So it is basically required in the apartment. Next is wooden joist floor. What is that wooden joist floor? Sometimes in the office, in conference room, in bedroom, master bedroom, or in the hotels, we provide normally a wooden flooring. and this wooden flooring is provided on the frame of the wood. We embedded or nailed the wooden tiles, which may be of different size. In general, the wooden joist is commonly called as the gutka or the sleepers. The vertical sleeper is having the size of 3 to 4 inches, and they are horizontal, longitudinal along the floor of the size of the floor. Yeah, this is the image, which is a cross section of a wooden floor in which the vertical members, yeah, you can see here the vertical member, which is called the joist. These joists provide the support, and it is adhered with the RCC floor, and then consequently we are providing that different kinds of mat, and then finally the hard top of wooden flooring. This in turn reduce the noise. It provides the better soundproofing. Here are some more material which absorb the sound, like hair felt. This material was first used by Mr. Sabin in his experiment for the soundproofing. He used almost 25 mm thick hair felt, which provide the sound absorption coefficient of nearly 60. Next is quilt and mats. They are made from mineral wool or glass wool and are mostly used as a sound absorbing material. And the sound absorption value totally depends on the thickness of the material, whether it may be a mat, it may be a quilt, it may be a hair felt. The next is in the series is acoustic plaster. It consists of granulated material mixed with the cement and 20 mm thick plaster having a density of 0.1 gram per centimeter cube, as sound absorbing coefficient is nearly 0.3. Next is strawboard. This strawboard is normally used in the notice board as well. The material is a very good sound absorbent and having sound absorption coefficient of 0.3 at a thickness of 12 mm. Compressed fiber board. This material is available in perforated or unperforated forms. Perforated forms has sound absorption coefficient is nearly 0.3, and unperforated has this coefficient value of 0.52. Yeah, this is a very good material which is used in the cinema hall or theaters. Next is wood wool board. This material is normally available in thickness of 2.5 mm with sound absorption coefficient of 0.20. So this is about the soundproofing and soundproofing material. Next is fireproofing. Basically, fire is a hazard which can cause the damage not only to the building but also to the resident and the material which is available in the flat or house. It is under the norms. It is required in all the apartments, all the building. It is a mandatory requirement as per the IS code. Every building contains some material like furniture, clothing, e-tables, etc., which can catch fire easily, and they are vulnerable to the fire. However, the designer or architect, they provide all the safety measures for the occupants just to ensure the maximum possible extent during the fire and any other natural or man-made disaster or accident. So it is normally provided. If you are resident of an apartment, then you can find that red color of pipes, which are known as the fire hydrants. They worked during the fire. Some smoke alarm or smoke detector is there. Some sensors are provided in all the rooms and kitchens where they can assess the smoke, and based on that they can ring that alarm, which is either in the maintenance department or provided near the guard room. So as per the requirement of that alarm or the alarming system, they can provide the best fire fighting facilities immediately. Now come to the fire resisting materials. The first material in this series is the mineral wool, which is a fibrous material formed by spinning of drying molten mineral or rock materials such as slag and ceramic. Application of mineral wool include thermal insulation as both structural insulation and pipe insulation as well. These are not a fire resistant as high temperature insulation wool. Filtration, soundproofing, and hydroponic growth medium. Next is a timber. The timber is a thermal insulation property. So when we burn a timber, first it get charred to certain depth. Thereafter, this charred layer served as insulation to check the spread of fire to the inner portion. So comparatively, timber is a fire resistant material. It catches fire, but it takes time. First is charred, then it catches the fire. Now, next is the stone. Stone are most unsuitable building material for preventing the safety against the fire accident. The limestone, which is a type of stone, it crumbles to the powder when catches fire or when during the high temperature. Granite, which is a common material provided in the kitchen slab, it explodes when exposed to severe heat or fire. The next material in this series is brick. Bricks are not seriously affected by the fire until 1200 or more degree of temperature is reached. This is due to that bricks are poor conductor of heat. Cast iron. This material is rarely used as a structural material because it flies into the pieces when heated and suddenly cooled. Hence, this material must be covered with the one brick wall or the concrete wherever it is used in the construction. The next is a glass. It is a bad conductor of heat and low heat coefficient to the thermal expansion, due to which it can be used in the building, but sudden change in the temperature can cause crack in it. There are some high quality of glass are there which may withstand with the high temperature also. The next is the asbestos cement. It can be formed by mixing asbestos fiber with the OPC, means ordinary Portland cement, and which can provide the better or great fire resistivity against any fire accident. The next and last is the plastering. Cement or lime plaster has very high fire resistivity value and it commonly employed to cover the wall, ceiling, joists, etc. to protect from the fire. This is all about the lecture of sound insulation and fire resistivity or fire protection against the fire accident. We'll meet again with a new topic, which is cement, sand, and aggregate. Now, thanks to all of you for listening my lecture, for sparing time. Next time, we'll meet you with a fresh topic, which I have mentioned in my previous slide. Till then, goodbye. Once again, thanks to all of you.